Hello, students from Virtual English. This is Professor Mauricio Martinez, and I'm going to tell you about the activities for week 6. So by the end of this week, you should have finished the module N. So please check in the platform, and if you haven't finished this module, please make sure you revise and check all of the different activities. It's very important to work on the different activities in the modules. Remember, this week we finish with module N, and next week we start with the next module. For the second part, we have the weekly workshop number 6. So go to the platform, there you will find the activities section. You click on the weekly workshop, and then you have the PDF file. So in this you will find the detailed description of all of the different exercises in terms of vocabulary, grammar, reading, listening, and at the end you will find the main activity. I'm going to explain a little bit about this main activity in a moment. In a moment I will explain. Another aspect which is pretty important is the video project. We have to start thinking of the idea of what is going to be our project about. Remember that I gave the results of the survey. So 74% of the course voted for touristic places. So please think about the place you are going to describe. You are going to tell us about the customs, about the population, about the touristic places, about the weather conditions. Well, anything you want to tell us about these touristic places. I'm going to give you a recommendation for you to have an idea on how is the project going to be, how is the video going to be. So this is the project of last semester, where you will find all the videos of all of the students. You can access to it in www.unalvideoprojects.blogspot.com. I repeat, www.unalvideoprojects.blogspot.com. There you will find an example of how these videos result. Okay, so remember also that the interaction component is mandatory. So remember every week to participate in the tutorials by teachers, by monitors, in the compensation forums. You can work on the Tell Me More platform as well, where there are many possibilities. So please be very committed and pay a lot of attention to participate in the component, in the interaction component every week. Well, so in this moment I'm going to explain very quickly about the activity, the main activity for the week. So the grammar topic is third conditional. The conditional is structured to talk about unreal situations in the past, things that did not occur. For instance, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. So I'm sure this didn't happen to you. I'm sure you all passed the first progress test because you have studied very hard. Another example is if you have driven more carefully, you wouldn't have had an accident. So in this case is to talk about a regret. Regret in Spanish is arrepentimiento. When you wish that something wouldn't have happened in the past. Well, to introduce the topic, there you have some exercises. Here you have a video, so you can click there to watch the video, and then you have a listening practice about 100 greatest discovery. So this activity is focused in taking notes. So you are going to choose some of these inventions, like 3 or 5. Then you are going to take your notebook and you are going to take notes about what you listen. No, this is a good strategy for students who are learning English, to take notes and to check what you have done. In the second part, well, in the final part, it is the main activity, and it starts with a question. If Thomas Edison hadn't invented the light bulb, what would have happened? It's an interesting question. What do you think would have happened in that case? I say that if he hadn't invented the light bulb, mankind would have passed many years in the absolute darkness. Imagine, no lights in the houses. That would have been a difficult or terrible situation. So the activity for this week is that you are going to create hypotheses, of what would have been the historical consequences of having done an invention. For instance, you choose the refrigerator. What would have happened if people haven't invented the refrigerator, or the printer, or a medicine? You can choose any of these inventions and you are going to create a timeline. This is an example of the activity. So let's see, this student talk about the discovery of the insulin. So he says, if Charles Best hadn't introduced the name insulin for this hypothetic substance that reduced the hyperglycemia and glycosuria in dogs made diabetic by the removal of the pancreas, we wouldn't have known as it. So in this case, he's talking about an historical event, something that happened and caused an impact in history. So you can create similar examples to this. If insulin hadn't been a success, the Nobel Committee wouldn't have decided to award the Nobel Prize, to these two inventors. So this is the idea, to talk about the historical consequences. For this, you can create a timeline in this website. It's www.timetoast.com, or if you prefer, you can do it in a PowerPoint presentation or even in a Prezi presentation. It is up to you, the creativity. Remember, always click on the link on the share button. When you share this timeline on platform, remember the direct link. The direct well, now we are going to see some more examples of the third conditional. When do we use them? What is this structure used for? And its use. So the third conditional is used to talk about situations in the past which had a different end from the one we will have liked. That is to say, it is used for hypothetical situations in the past. So let's say we wanted to imagine how a situation would have been different if there would have been different conditions. So we are going to see some examples in this regard. We can complain about the past, but we cannot change it. This is true. I was telling you that this is used for regrets, arrepentimientos. We complain about the past, but the truth that in the present we cannot do anything to change it. So, well, this is one of the sad structures of grammar, no? Let's check how it's structured. Although it seems a bit difficult, it's not very difficult. First, you have the if conditional. Then you have the auxiliary have in the past tense, had or had not. Then you have the verb in past participle. And then you have the consequence. No? This is the condition in this part. And then we have the consequence, which can be expressed with a would or with could. This would have happened or this could have happened. Then you have the auxiliary have. This is present and a past participle. Let's see how it works in a sentence. You think there are so many elements, but you see that it's very simple. If I had had money, I would have been happy. No? For example, when you were a kid, no, you were a little kid and you wanted to buy a bicycle. So you say, if I had had money when I was 5 years old, I would have been happy. So this is something that happened in the past, but now probably you have a bicycle and probably now you are happy. So this is only something that occurred in the past, and probably there is no current consequence. Yes, so let's have a look at this example. Now let's do some exercises in order to see how do you do with this tense. So the instructions for this part, this is going to be interactive. No, you are going to pause the video and answer the questions in a piece of paper. So grab a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper, and you pause the video, you answer the questions, then you play to see the answers. So let's check. The first part is, he crashed his car because he fell asleep while driving. If he asleep while driving his car. So please complete this, pause the video, and then you will see the answers. Well, the answer is, he crashed his car because he fell asleep while driving. If he hadn't fallen asleep while driving, he wouldn't have crashed his car. So you see, in this case we use the auxiliary have in the past, if he hadn't fallen, and for the consequence we use the auxiliary wouldn't plus have in present. So this is the idea. We are going to continue with the second question. Pause the video and answer the question. And the answer is, we couldn't go to the concert because we didn't have enough money. If we had had enough money, we could have gone to the concert. Let's prepare for the third question. Pause the video and answer the question. And the result is: I lost my job because I was late for work. I wouldn't have lost my job if I hadn't been late for work. So please check and prepare for the fourth question. Question number 4. And the answer is: the wind was so strong that the bridge collapsed. If the wind hadn't been so strong, the bridge wouldn't have collapsed. And the final question, which is: and the answer for this is: I couldn't call Solly because I had lost her number. I could have called Solly if I hadn't lost her number. So if you get 5 correct, you are doing great. If you did 3 or 2, please, you need to revise and practice more. But if you didn't have any correct answer, please check again the weekly workshop, check the module, and review all of the different exercises in order to practice a lot for the next exercises. So I hope to see you in a future occasion, and remember that if you have any doubt or any comment suggestion, you can write to my email. So bye bye, students.